Well, hi there. It's bedtime story time. I started reading this and I got twisted up on it because it rhymes. And to me, part of it was like a tongue twister, which means the words are real close to being the same. And so this is my second time trying to read this to you. This story is called One of Each by Mary Ann Hoberman. She is the author. That means she writes the story. And the picture maker is the illustrator. Marjorie Priceman did all these great pictures. Let's see if I can get this right this time, okay? Oliver Tolliver lived all alone in a little tumble down house of his own. It had one little window and one little door and one little carpet that covered the floor. It had one little table and one little chair and one little closet and one little stair and one little bedroom and one little bed with one little pillow for under his head and one little blanket and one little sheet and one little bottle to warm up his feet. Everything's one, 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 one. In the one little kitchen was one little sink and one little cupboard, all shiny and pink. And inside that cupboard, there was one pear and one peach, one plum and one apple. Just one of each. One plum and one apple, one pear and one peach. Just one, only one, simply one of each. There was one little clock that went tick tock, tock, tick over one little fireplace built out of brick. There was one little bookcase with one little book and one little mirror where someone could look. Oh, you know that would not work for Ganny because I have a lot of books. And when Oliver Tolliver looked all around, he smiled with delight, for he liked what he found. It all seemed so fine, every one of each thing, that he felt just as happy and proud as a king, because he keeps it so clean and simple. And so he was proud. He likes it that way. That's what he likes, okay? So he said to himself, why, how nice it would be if someone could see this, someone besides me. Why, such a collection would certainly teach how lovely it is to have one of each. One house with one kitchen, one plum and one peach. Just one, only one, simply one of each. So Oliver Tolliver carefully dressed in his one little shirt and his one little vest and his one little trousers and one little coat. There's the trousers and coat and one little tie round his one little throat. He put on his little hat and he put one little hat on his one little head. And then Oliver Tolliver cheerfully said, I shall walk out my door and go straight to the street. And the very first person I happen to meet is the one I will ask to come look and come see. I wonder which person that person will be. He just wants someone to come see. He started out walking, and soon someone came, a nice looking person, and he asked her name. She said it was Peggotty Small, and she was pleased to come over to call. He showed her his stove and his one little sink and his one little cupboard all shiny and pink, and his chair and his table, his bureau and bed, and his one little pillow for under his head. And each time he showed her a one of each treasure, he looked for a sign for enjoyment or pleasure. He was looking at her because he wanted to see if she liked it just as much as he did. Like, oh, wow, that's great. She didn't say that. But all that she did was repeat the same speech. Just one, only one, simply one of each. Why only one apple? Why only one peach? Why one, simply one of each? Oliver Tolliver tried to explain. He said that the reason was perfectly plain. If everything fit from the roof to the floor and each thing was perfect, why bother with more? But Peggotty answered, I cannot agree. It may be for you, but it isn't for me. There's one chair to sit on, and one plate to eat on, and only one footstool to prop your feet up on. One cup and one saucer, one pear and one peach. Oh, dearie, How dreary, with just one of each. A guest in your one of each house doesn't fit. It's made for one person, and you, sir, are it. It's perfect for one, sir, if he's on his own. And so, sir, I'll go, sir, and I'll leave you alone. It was like he only had one. He didn't want two people there. Then Oliver Tolliver looked all about. He looked up and down, and he looked in and out, and he saw that what Peggotty said was quite true. His one of each house was not suited for two. His one of each things never came to an end. Yet one thing was missing. He had not even one friend. Oliver Tolliver raced out the door and hurried downtown, and he ran to each store. In each store he entered, he made the same speech. I'd like this one and that one, just one of each. He bought this one and that one, and when he was through, he hurried back home. And now each one was two. Because, like, if he had one cup and he bought one cup more, now he's got two cups. If he had one chair and he bought another chair, and he now has two chairs. That's why he said now there's two of each. And when he arranged all his new things to fit, he liked what he saw. He liked what they looked like, and he had to admit the house was less empty and the kitchen felt new. The table seemed friendlier when it was set up for two. So he said it where now someone can come over and have chocolate milk with a straw and blow bubbles. And when he was finished, he called out Miss P and invited her to come over for afternoon tea. And when she arrived, she was cavered with glee, and she said with delight, "Why, you did this for me?" When Oliver Toller, "Why, Oliver dear, you are truly a peach. With two, really two, always two of each." Now it's friendly to come over. They sat at the table in perfect accord, and they each took a teacup that Peggotty poured, and they each had a cupcake, and when they were done, Oliver knew two was always better than one. Jolly and friendly, more cheerful, more fun. And then, little by little, new friends came to call, and Oliver found he was fond of them all. What a pity, he thought, there was not any more. What a pity, he thought, there was not any more cupcakes to offer, more tea he could pour. Then he had an idea as he opened the door, an idea that he never thought of before. He sharpened the knife and he polished his plate, and he asked his new friend if they would kindly wait. Then he went to the cupboard, and in he did reach, and he took out his fruit. There were now two of each. Remember, he went to the store, and I want one, but he already had one, so now he's got two of everything. And he carefully cut them, each plum, peach, and pear, and he passed around the plate so they all had a share. And he found as he nibbled the peach, pear, and plum that they all tasted better when each one had some. And that even though each person's piece might be small, eating with friends was the best thing at all. And by sharing his pieces of plum, pear, and peach, each one could have one, still one of each. And that was the story of one of each. If you just have one, might not be fun. Like a girl, if you only have one doll and you have a friend come over and you want to play dolls, but you only got one doll. A boy comes over, you got some Legos race cars, but you just got enough for one race car. You really want to have two, so your friend can play with something too. All right, Yanni loves you. I'm glad I have more than one grandbaby. Right now I have three, but who knows? Down the line I could have more. So anyway, good night, sleep tight. Let me get on to reading another story. I love you more. Sweet dreams.